Town today, Vice President MIke Pence in Knoxville campaigning for, among others, Marsha Blackburn. He spoke at a conservative political action committee conference in front of hundreds of supporters. Blackburn is running against former Tennessee Governor and Democrat Phil Bredesen to replace Tennessee Senator Bob Corker. This was the vice president's first visit to Knoxville since taking office. 10 News reporter Mark Salinger shows us the message he brought to East Tennessee.
Well, hello, Tennessee!
From Washington to Knoxville, Vice President MIke Pence shared a message from the White House.
Allow me to begin by bringing greetings from a man who loves Tennessee and the leader you voted overwhelmingly to make the 45th president of the United States of America. I bring greetings from President Donald Trump.
With the midterm elections just 46 days away, Pence stopped by Knoxville to stump for Republican candidates. Speaking to an audience of hundreds of supporters at a CPAC 365 conference.
I know we will keep making America prosperous again. We will keep making America safe again.
As senators in Washington prepare to vote on President Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court, the vice president reiterated his support for Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
President Trump and I are confident that the Republicans in the Senate will complete the confirmation process properly, respectfully, and in a way that treats all parties fairly.
Supporters who came to see the vice president today say Pence's speech energized them to get out and vote.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I'm glad that I know I'm supporting the right cause.
He's honest, his honesty, his integrity, and he stands by the president.
As the vice president departed, he left Knoxville with a familiar message.
We will win in November, and we will make America great again.
Mark Salinger, WBIR 10 News.
The vice president was in town for about 4 hours. He departed around 3:30 this afternoon, off to Arkansas for more events this evening. A small group of demonstrators did gather downtown. Organizers labeled themselves indivisible East Tennessee Blue Wave candidates, and they say Vice President Pence and Marsha Blackburn don't represent Tennessee. Those demonstrators stood at the corner of Henley and Clinch Streets for a few hours during his visit. Road closures and extra security also caught some game day travelers by surprise. Secret Service doesn't disclose the route the vice president takes as he moves through downtown for security reasons, but a lot of roads did close, at least temporarily. Walkers and drivers saw closures on parts of Gay Street, State Street, Central Street, and Union, as well as Clinch Avenues.